Alright, everyone, welcome to another Watch and Talk here at Automotive Anatomy. And yeah, today I was looking forward to doing this Watch and Talk. I need to wash my cars again, just because I think the time of this recording was like 2 weeks ago from the moment that I'm actually doing the voiceover. And this topic that I want to discuss today, it came up um, indirectly at I guess my current job. It, I want to discuss the people that want to help. No. The people that pretend to help but don't really help. um, Obviously, there's helping people in any way, shape, or form is it's an interesting topic because I'll give you as an example. Um, a real estate agent sells houses. They're helping a person buy a property, um, but they work on commission. So their incentive, the real estate individual, their incentive is to make the transition as easy, as fast as possible. Hence why they're working their butts off, long hours. They're, a real estate, you know, agent is not working Monday to Friday from 8 in the morning to 2 p.m. and they clock out. Not a good one, you know, or not one that needs the money. Let's go with that. I'm sure that there's some real estate agents over there that only work as part timers because they're bored. Um, and so the thing is, they're trying to help, but in essence, they're trying to get the commission. And there's nothing wrong with that. They need to survive, and that's the gig that they decided. Um, but the incentive is there, which is damn. If I sell 5 houses, I get 5 commissions. What about a job that doesn't offer you commission? That's where we get into the whole idea of people that should help but don't. And give you guys an example. Obviously, I won't go into too much detail, but this is I didn't see it as a problem, but this problem came to my knowledge, and so I was like, oh, okay. Let me, I explained what I needed to explain, refer to the proper person who's in charge of, reaching out. I already did their job. All you need to do is follow up and just say, all right, when can you start, type of thing. Well, that wasn't the case. I got a response with, this specific, you know, lengthy explanation as to why they approach, certain things a certain way. Keep in mind, this is nothing to do with me at all. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. The people that I have to help, which I have my own responsibility towards some individuals. It's 2 seconds. Why? Because I pick up the phone call, or I call them. I explain what I need to explain, and then that's it. Like, the transition happens. Well, that's not the case, and people get to choose however they want to do it. And I just thought that it was interesting that this is the protocol, I guess, that these individuals have decided to go about. It's super non um, effective, especially with people that don't have technology. And I was like, hey, you know what? I think this is a big issue. Read it by my supervisor, and their response was to add another step. Did not solve the problem. Again, it has nothing to do with me, but it's a major issue that now it's affecting me. And I just thought it was hilarious that the solution was not only to say, "Oh yeah, oh let me streamline it." No, they added another layer to make it a little bit more difficult for the stakeholders that we should be helping. I just said that's fine. I don't run this joint. It's okay. But I thought it was interesting because the same individuals during functions, staff functions, are the loudest. These are the people that are, oh yeah, we're busy, we're doing this, blah blah blah, and it's like common. I already know. At any meeting, oh, I know who's gonna raise their hand. Oh yeah, yeah, this is what we do. This is the systems that we have in blah 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 blah. And it's really disappointing, especially in a field like mine where we don't get commission. I know that if I got commission to get more people into the program, shit, people will be picking up the phone. That's what we're discussing. They don't want to, nobody wants to pick up the phone because they're not getting commission. They seem to be thinking like, well, what am I getting out of this? And sorry, I'm just standing there because I was checking. I think I was changing the song. I gotta get in the mood. Anyways, yeah. So I thought about that. I thought about people that, and again, not saying that they're wrong by any means. I don't think they're wrong. I just my approach is completely different than theirs. I truly believe in helping people. Um, and I guess I'm in a mental state where every morning, let me tell you guys my routine, and this is the reason why I think I have a different approach. My routine: I wake up, get ready. I drive with my coffee in hand because my cup holders are too small for my coffee cup. It's a big coffee cup. I need it. And I listen to a podcast. Now, what that podcast is, it depends on how I'm feeling. It depends on what the mood I'm trying to get into. But it's always the same three podcasts. I'll tell you this. It's Gary V. It's Ed Milet. It's Ed Milet or The Minimalist. And there's another one but I don't use it on the podcast. I think that's Value Entertainment, but that's on YouTube. So it's always The Minimalist, Gary V, or Ed Milet. Those are the three different podcasts that you'll catch me. I'll have my headphones on the way to work. Anytime you see me on the way to work, it's always one of those. Why? Because they're motivating. Because they're interviewing people that are motivating. Because The Minimalist is something about mindset. So once I get to work, I continue listening to my podcast. And the first thing I always like to tackle is emails. Why? Because I get a ton of emails. That's just what my work, my job is. It's just different than another traditional, place. So I get tons and tons of emails. It's tedious things, and sometimes you feel like you're not really. You're just like a little computer, replying. There's no benefit or things of that nature. But you know what? It's my job, so I get on it. I do what I have to do. If it requires me to pick up the phone, I pick up the phone, call, get out of the way, boom. There's been a couple times now where other people are kind of throwing their job towards me, and I had to kind of speak up and say, hey, this is not my role, or this is not my responsibility. Now, yes, you guys may say, well, that sounds very negative. I thought you were a team player, dude. There's a difference between a team player and a difference between somebody completely not wanting to do their job. Granted, I'm not gonna go into detail what I do, but my job is super unique. That for a fact, I'm not guessing. For a fact, I'm working more, either double, sometimes triple, than somebody else with my same position in other sites. My site is super unique. Okay, whatever. I signed up for this job. I know what I got myself. Well, I didn't know what I got myself into, but now I'm going on my second year. I wanted to learn. I'm getting things done. So when this little scenario came up, recently, and really the solution of leadership was to say, oh yeah, we're just gonna go with whatever that individual wants, and the solution was to add another step. I thought it was comical. I thought it was pretty ineffective. But so at the same time, I also know that's not my role, and whatever. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna continue to assist with whatever I can, and I think that's the difference, right? That's the difference between someone who's actually passionate about what they do and someone who's burned out. Someone who's burned out is gonna create layers and layers and layers and layers. Now, don't get me wrong. They'll on paper, they'll have the time to create a calendar so that way nobody messes with them, nobody bothers them because they're quote unquote always busy. On in-person staff functions, they're the ones that are saying, yeah, we're working on this, we're trying to develop this, and it's always the same thing every week. It's like, damn, you've been developing this for the last 2 years. When is it gonna develop? And then there's people like me. I am not good at putting things on my calendar. Obviously, meetings, yes, I put up. But I get requests, with students. Hey, can you help me with this, this, and this? Right now, obviously, college applications is through the roof. So I'm sitting and I'm assisting whatever I can. Financial aid. Here I am. Each student is different. So whether it's undocumented, documented. You know, there's foster. I mean, there's so much stuff that I'm having to learn as I go as well. But the point is that I am transitioning. I'm trying to get the things done. I get along very well with a lot. I would say I would say 90%. 90% of staff, it's really really cool with me. And and I like that, right? Because it shows that yes, I do show up to work. I'm helping. I legitimately have the best interest for students and families. That's my goal. I don't care about how my peers feel about a certain way. If it's not okay for student, I'm gonna raise my voice. And it has not been once. It's been multiple times, and some people don't like that. But in the back of my head, I'm like, hey, long as leadership knows where I'm coming from and why I'm coming from, in that angle, I'm hoping that they have the same uh, interest in mind. And I think for the most part, my supervisor is really cool. And he's like, I get it, but we also have to balance other people's personalities. Okay, whatever. I don't run the joint, but I thought that was super interesting, just because I've come to know, at our old school site. Um, my wife obviously worked at a high school, and I worked at a high school, and it was traditional. And we talk, every time we come home from work, we're like, this and this and this happened. So we already kind of knew, quote unquote, who the black sheep of the team was. And it was so interesting that at the district meetings where all the high schools would show up, it was those same quote unquote black sheeps that would always be talking how, yeah, at their school they do this, and how they personally, yeah, there's sometimes families can't talk on the phone till like 8 p.m., so I get on the phone with them on a Friday night or a Saturday night at 8 p.m. And we're all like, homie, you don't even work when you're supposed to be working. You're always talking to the secretary, drinking coffee, or you go do your coffee runs and you're out for a whole hour, like. And so why am I talking about this? Because it's such a downer. I think it's important to understand that not everybody's gonna have the same passion, the same drive for what you're trying to do, and it's okay. My motto has always been, look, if you want to be a lazy ass, cool. Long as it doesn't affect me, and long as you don't want to give me, long as your work doesn't come to become my work, uh, I'm cool with that. But the minute your work becomes my work, and I'm having to address it, and I'm having to do your job, yet you still trying to get these little stars, that's when it becomes my biggest issue. I legitimate don't have an issue with people being lazy at work. I really don't. Legit. Because that says more about them, right? All I know is that when I'm at work, I'm at work. Um, and when I'm at home, I'm trying to build, something else, whether it's a YouTube channel, whether it is, getting new ideas for clothes, I don't know, whatever it is, reaching out to people so I can interview. I am also trying to do stuff outside of work, and I think that that's the thing. Like, some people may not like my motto. My motto is, when I'm at work, I'm at work, and when I'm out of work, don't bother me. And I think that that's where you start seeing, you get that repetition of like, oh look, we shouldn't be just clocking out. No, hell yeah, I clock out. I have a life after this. I'm gonna go home and walk and just relax, or whatever the hell I do. And I think that's the major piece, right? I get to walk away from my day because I know I've helped. I know that I've done whatever I could, and we know that working with our, my kids, working with my students is the easy part. It's great. You get to have chats and stuff. It's working with adults, and we know that anything that you do for a living is working with adults is a difficult part. And so, um, I think that that's the major difference between people that want to help or pretend to help. Um, I'll show these little memes that I always think is funny. There's somebody in a big hole, and he's trying to pretend like he's trying to reach and help him, when there's a complete usable ladder right there. Like, yeah, some people are just pretending to be helpful, and that goes to everything. Um, I can definitely see how people kind of talk to me a little different now that the channel's getting bigger, which is how it's weird. I'll see them at the car meet, and they'll be like, "Hey, what's up, Gus?" And I was like, "That's funny. 2 years ago, when the channel was smaller, you knew who I was, but you didn't even take 2 seconds to say hi. But again, that's not my job. That's not my responsibility to nitpick, because if you start nitpicking, I think it rubs off on you in a negative way. And I told you guys before, and I think you guys like that. Don't stop being a good person because of bad people. And that holds true with anything that you do, especially when you're having to interact with other adults in different functions. I've always said if I go to a Carson Coffee, I'll say hi to anybody. Now I'm an introvert. I'm not gonna lie. I like to just keep to myself, do my thing. But if you say hi, I think I like to believe that I will say hi and I'll have a chat and do what we have to do. And the reason why is because if I'm not in a good mindset, why in the would I go to a Carson Coffee? If I don't want people to bother me, why would I go to a Carson Coffee? That's the same thing, and that's the same, I guess, steps that I'm trying to take when I go to work. I drink my coffee, and I listen to motivational speakers. I listen to the Minimalist. I listen to Ed Milet. I listen to different things that are gonna prepare me for the day. That are gonna put me in a good mindset. That will give me ideas to execute on after I get off from work. Why? Because my job is not commission based, and I'm okay with that. If I wanted to do a commission based job, I would go and get a commission based job. But that doesn't that's not what I'm into. I like talking to people. In this case, young adults. I love interacting because it's cool to have communication and conversations about different things. And I'm like, dude, this is like the greatest job. I get paid to have a chat with someone who is starting, quote unquote, right? It's barely kind of thinking like, damn, like I'm about to go off to college or go to community college or the labor force workforce. I mean, you name it, right? It's cool. It's cool. You get to interact with young adults, and so that's the fun part. So if I don't prepare myself, if I don't put myself in a positive mindset every morning, I end up like this people. Let me create different layers for people to get to me. Um, and again, on paper, I'm still helping, right? I can BS my way, but I think deep down inside, you're putting barriers. I think that you're burned out, but you just don't want to do something else. And I think that's a disservice. That's a disservice. Most importantly, that's a disservice to you yourself as a person, as an individual, um, because what the hell are you doing with your time? You know what I mean? Like, if you're unhappy doing something, like, damn, like, if you have to go out of your way to create barriers at your own job, oh man, that's tough, right? And that usually means that there's other stuff that is going on, right? So that's work problems kind of translate to home problems, and home problems translate to work problems. Now, I don't have, I can honestly tell you guys, I don't have a problem-free life, right? There's always gonna be little things, but do I actually have real problems? The answer is no. I don't have any problems. I don't have any struggles. Um, Dude, I'm freaking washing my car and recording myself, like, and I have the time to talk over it. Like life is great, you know. And that's the message that I'm trying to kind of convey. I know that I'm talking to at least 500 people that watch this stuff. I hope you take this, and I hope you evaluate, because I've had to evaluate in the past. Shoot, what if I'm that negative person? What if I'm the one creating barriers? What if I'm being um, neglectful with my job, with my relationship? I've been neglectful with my eating and my doing physical activities. I've been walking, stretching, doing things of that nature. I've listened and read your comments. I am feeling better. My back is not hurting. The back of my leg is not hurting, but still, there's definitely improvement to make. But in other areas, like I said, I continue to stay true to myself. Whether it is budgeting, super into budgeting, um, or investing my time into the channel growing and making sure that hopefully I'm bringing positive experiences, and that's kind of like the main goal for this thing. I have my other goals of buying a home and things of that nature. So I'm trying to make sure that I don't fall into that. And I think that um, many of us, we create layers of ways and steps, additional steps, unnecessary steps, I should say, to not have to help somebody, to not have to get that energy to go and assist somebody. And again, I can use this in any other jobs. McDonald's, let's say. I worked in fast food for about 5 years. How would I go about not helping somebody? Well, let me see. If I was a shift leader, I can see the cook struggling. I could just ignore it and just, they'll get through it. No, I would go back there and I would help them. The same thing with the fryer person, same thing with the cashier, same thing if I was the shift leader and the manager slash, and that the cashier was really busy up front because there were so many orders. Well, guess what? My job was to make myself accessible and helpful for everyone. The idea that once you move up, people work for you, it's the wrong way about it, and that's the reason why there's poor leadership. Yeah, sure, they have the title, but doesn't mean that they're leaders. Because people think, oh, I'm the CEO, now I have 500 people working for me. No, now you should be working for 500 people, and that's the difference that people don't understand. When you go get a degree and you hold a position of education, of leadership, of a good standing role model in the community, whatever that is, you are there to serve. You know, and the thing is that most of us either get burned out or have self-interest, that we forget that, and so we create different obstacles to not be of that accessible. Now, big disclaimer, once again, I have a different mindset at the moment. I'm fairly young, and I'm fairly young into my career. Maybe if I get 30 years down from my career where I'm at right now, maybe I'm gonna create all those obstacles. But in the back of my head, I'm scared because I'm like, do I really want to be that miserable and still show up to work and think, when the hell is this going to end? That's what I'm afraid of. So I would definitely love to hear from some of you guys, especially, the older individuals who have been working at I know Rob from Canada, he has his own business. He mentioned he doesn't like working with people, so he's like, yeah, I created my own business. Cool. That's awesome, man. Not everybody has that, I guess, I'm not going to say freedom nor privilege, because it's not. Not everybody has, I guess, those guts to take on that, leap. So what about some other people? Did something change? I mean, if you guys have been working for a company for the past 20, 30 years, and have you guys noticed yourself kind of being burned out, and how did you guys go about kind of bettering yourself? Or you haven't. Maybe you are that person who's pretending to help but is not helping, and only you can be true to yourself, right? This is how we end up on these deep conversations, because you stumble on this video about cars, but the cars is a bonus, right? It's a real true conversation of different meanings, of messages that we're trying to convey. I think that's what I've been battling with myself, just thinking like, man, I'm afraid to get to that point. And I think that you don't get to that point by yourself. You get through that point with sad people, angry people, jealous people, these type of individuals that start kind of throwing their work towards you, and that's how you become bitter. And so I'm like, you know what, just today, I was reflecting. I was like, yeah, I've done a lot of work for other people that I shouldn't. And I'm like, interesting. Am I an idiot, or am I actually in a better space that I'm like, you know what, I'll take on that. Instead of looking at work, I look at it as an opportunity. Going back to that's that's all the podcasts I listen to, and they call me dumb or whatever you want to call it, but that's just the way I kind of go about my day, and it honestly helps. The time goes really fast, and I feel like I'm being productive. But I'm also saving like crazy, because I'm thinking one day I want to be able to quit my job and be like, I don't need this, and do something else, and hopefully I have enough money in the bank to just kind of keep me grounded and be okay with it. I've had other watching talks where I discuss about crypto and things of that that I was not part of it. Now I'll be honest with you guys. I started looking into it, and I think that I'll do another watch and talk about why I do have some money on crypto, and thinking about investing in other assets, whether it's digitally, or just the branding of the channel and things of that nature. I'll definitely be talking about some of that. Just I think I owe it to you guys, because I did talk about not investing into crypto. I think in a Washington talk maybe 3 to 6 months ago. But I'll let you guys know what changed my mind, and kind of just walk through that process. But today I just really was looking forward, as you guys can tell, I was looking forward to having this chat. Don't let bad people keep you from being good, and just continue to work hard. I think some of us, we do work hard, but we get we forget. And so I think I'm here to remind you guys, keep doing the work that you're doing, and keep a positive mindset, and feed yourself positive things, so that way you when you encounter, it's not if, it's when you encounter people like this, you're in a different mindset and different space, and that allows you to continue to perform, and do a great job, even when other people are not willing to do so. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for the much love and support. And as always, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.